Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you 5 of my favorite Christmas DIY wood projects that I have previously shared on my channel. These are so easy and anyone can make it, no skill level required. And if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sonja if this is your first time visiting my channel. Today I am participating in an open collaboration, open invite from Natalie from Design to the Nines. It's called Girls Can Use Power Tools. This is a monthly challenge that she hosts. I have participated in all of them up until now. I know there is a break until January, so this is the last one for this year. So every month she has a different co-host. I will have her channel link down below, as well as Ashley from Ashley Lauren, who is her co-host for this month, and her channel link down below. And I will also link down the playlist for all the ladies participating in this challenge. The only rule for this challenge is that we show how we use power tools. So for my project, I will be making advent calendars. I will be making 2 of them because I have 2 children, and I will be using a table saw and a drill to do this. So I will show you the supplies that I will be using besides those power tools. So without further ado, let's get started. So here are the supplies that I will be using. So I have 3 of these 1x2x8s. I have these wooden stars that came from Dollar Tree. I have these little burlap sacks that I ordered on Amazon. I have these little hooks. They came from Dollar Tree. I use them for a different project, but they're coming in handy now. So I have 2 packages. And then I have the gel stain, the Old Masters gel stain, it's in Spanish oak, and a brush. I also have a level. I'm just using this as a ruler, and a measuring tape, a drill bit, and an old white chalk paint. Then I also have some wood glue and some clamps if I need them. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stain these. And I'm not looking for extreme coverage, just a bit of coverage to give it a different look than just what it is. So you want to go fairly gently over it. I actually might use something else to paint it. I am going to use a cheesecloth. So now that they're all done, it doesn't take long to dry because I did just a very light coat. I will measure them out, and I am measuring. So the first cut is 12. Then I'm doing 15, and then I'm doing 18, and 20 and 22. So 20 and 22. So I will cut 2 of them this way. Just going to mark them off a little bit better. So 2 of them will be cut that size, and this one will be cut into 36. So make sure you practice safety, wear safety glasses. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of stain on each end. These together. Just want to make sure that they are aligned exactly. And I always save the pieces of wood that I'm not using for maybe some other project. So you're gonna start with your smallest one, and you want to have space for 3 hooks, which if it's 12, it should be every, well, I think I'm gonna do 10, because I'm gonna leave an inch on each section. So if I do an inch here, and then, so it's 30 centimeters all together. Then you remove, so you got 10 inches you remove, so inch and inch from there, so that an inch there. There. So that leaves me with 10 inches, and the middle is 5 inches. So you want to do your, because you're putting 3, so your first one is at 1 inch. Second one from that is at 5 inches, right? No, the middle is right here. So at 1 inch and 6 inch mark would be the right one, and then back at 1 inch. So you want taken 1 inch from here, 1 inch from here, mark it, and then put 1 in the middle. That's the way I'm doing it. And now I'm going to use my drill to pre-drill. I'm just going to open these up a little bit just so I can fit my bags in there, and then you just screw them in, and it should be fairly easy with the pre-drill holes there. Okay, Okay, so now I'm going to repeat the same process for this one and for the rest of them, and I will show you all the measurements on how I did it. I'll write out all the dimensions in the description box. So I have attached all of the little hooks to all of them, and I'm just going to, before I paint the edges, sand these a little bit, just so you don't get splinters. And then I'm going to add the stain to that, and I'm also going to be adding stain to my star, which I should have done when I stained these, but I forgot. So now that I had completed staining everything, I am going to assemble them. So you just want to make sure that everything is somewhat centered before you glue it on, and that there's about the same amount of spacing in between. I'm not going to measure, I am just going to eyeball it. And this is where I'm going to use the wood glue, and you don't want to put too much because you don't want it to leak out. Let's see if these will, if this will go over. I didn't think it would, so I'm not gonna use these. And you want to make sure that they are fairly straight on there. I mean, if they're a little bit off, it's not a big deal, but just don't want them to be completely crooked. I am going to use some weight to put on them. I'm going to do the same thing for the second one. So while these are drying and curing, I am going to finish these up just because I want to spruce them up a little bit. I don't want them just to be black or stained. So I'm going to use my chalk paint. I'm going to try something first. Hopefully it'll work. I did this technique the other day and I really like the outcome. I I think they look much better now with a bit of chalk paint. So now I'm gonna glue these onto the top of the trees. There, so I'm going to let this cure. You can see I put some weight on them, and once I come back, I'm going to show you how I attach the bags. So I have decided to stencil the numbers onto these bags, and I am using the Christmas green acrylic paint and deep red acrylic paint, as well as this stencil that I got from Dollar Tree and 2 foam brushes. So I'm gonna work in batches, and I'm going to just put it in a corner, and I'm just gonna dab it so it doesn't leak through. So 1, make sure you wipe the back of the stencil before putting it on, just in case. Now when you start with the double digits, you want to put so for 10 you want to put the 0 closer to the edge and work the other way around to the right. That way you for sure leave yourself enough room. So here it is, times 2. I think it turned out really cool. And you can put all sorts of stuff in them other than just candy. You can reuse some of your Halloween candy to put in there so they don't eat it all in the first week after Halloween. For teenagers, you can put, for girls, some maybe cosmetic samples, gift cards, or things like that, just like, you know, $5 iTunes card or whatnot. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing Christmas in July, even though it's July 30th, but I really wanted to participate in this video thing that's happening on YouTube, so I decided to do it. Better late than never. I will be making a stocking stuffer hanger type of thing, and for this I am using 2 I think they're fence boards that I had attached together, and then I have cut out these. You can cut these out with your Cricut machine, and I'm just using them as stencils. And then I'm gonna be using the Annie Sloan Emperor Silk paint, linen white by Rust-Oleum, and I haven't 100% decided whether I'm gonna use the cocoa bean or not. Haven't quite figured out the technique that I'm gonna use for putting these guys on. And also I went out and I had purchased a wooden door pulls, and I got 4 of those. And then you're going to need a paintbrush, some sort of a cup, and some sort of a tray for your paint. The paintbrush that I'm using came from Dollarama, and it was actually quite a good deal. 5 of them, no, 2, how many were in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 of them for $2. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. thing that I'm going to be doing is I am going to be painting my dowels. And I'm using this cup and paint to do that. I hope this works. We shall see. It's going to be messy, I know that. Oh, that will work. So I just attached a pen to it, and then I'm going to, oh, I hope this works. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not going to. But I would like to cover it up. I think this paint's going to need a little bit of water to thin it out. That's the nice thing about chalk paint. If it gets to be too thick, because I haven't used that paint in a long time, you can just add water to it, and it will water it down a bit. So I'm going to let these dry. And I'm putting down the end that I'm screwing on, so the narrower end, so that way if the paint doesn't stick to that end, it's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry. And make sure you don't lose the screws from them, so you can screw it on after. And now I am going to paint my board. Really torn as to how to do this. Alright, I'm going to try and go do it this way. So first I'm going to paint actually, I'm not going to use the cocoa bean. I'm just going to leave it as is and attach my mousse. Now when you apply your paint, the white paint, because I want it to be kind of rustic looking, I am going to do more of a dry brush technique, which means you want to not have too much paint on your brush, so then a lot of the other stuff shows through. And when I'm gonna go around here, I'm just gonna kind of dab it. I'm going to lift these up and hope for the best. Oh, that turned out really good. That one did. And that one did too. Love it. Okay. I really like the way that looks. And then once the paint dries, which is not going to take very long, I'm just gonna do a write-up over here, and I think I might use my permanent markers for that, just because sometimes I don't do very well with writing so thinly. Okay, so that's done, and then once my knobs dry, I will be screwing them in. Here it is all done. Did manage to find the 2 other screws, and they're on pretty secure, so I could hang it if I wanted to, or I could just use it as a decoration. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I can't wait for the actual Christmas season to start. So here is the scrap wood that I'm using. I have used a triangle ruler to just mark off all of my pieces that I'm cutting, and I went with 3 with just a pointy top, and then I needed 3 with 1 inch, and then I needed 3 with 2 inch, and then I needed 2 with 4 inch, and then 1 with 5 inch. So I hope this makes sense. It will probably make all sense once I cut them all out and assemble them. Then you'll see what I meant by the top. So some meet right at the top, and then some are 1 inch apart, 2 inches apart, 3 inches apart, and 4 inches apart. So now that I had them cut, I used a table saw to cut them, and I'm going on. No, it's not a table saw, it's a miter saw. And then I'm using just my sanding block just to smooth out the edges so they don't cause any splinters, and they're just nice and smooth. This was fairly simple to do. There wasn't a lot of loose wood to sand off. If you're stopping by my channel for the very first time, welcome. My name is Sonja, and I hope that you enjoy this video, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're stopping by for the first time, I hope you consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. Make sure you check out my DIY playlist. There are tons of inspirations in there, from Dollar Tree to Trash to Treasure to lots of scrap wood projects. Now, once that was all sanded out, I am going to stain them, but I'm not going to use just a normal stain. I'm going to take some of the chalk paint that I have, and I'm going to water it down and use it as stain. So the very first one that I'm going to be using is Cocoa by Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I got this at Home Depot. I painted a coffee table with it, used it as a stain for the top, so I wanted to use it now because I have tons of it for this project. So the way I create the stain is I am adding some paint. You don't need a lot at all, and then I'm going to be watering it down. So the next one is my Chateau Gray by Annie Sloan. I've had this paint for very long. As you can see, it's quite thick, but again, I'm going to be using water to water it down, so it's not a problem at all. And the last paint, my tin broke that the paint was in, but I am using Paris Gray by Annie Sloan as well, and I've had this one for quite a long time as well. So this one actually was a little bit runnier. I have a feeling that I've already added water to it, but I still needed to add water. Now to the Chateau Gray one, I'm going to add more than the other two, obviously, because it's so thick. But my advice is that you start with a little bit of water, and then you can always add more. You don't want to add too much and then having to add more paint. Then it's just wasting the paint. But I'm just adding a little by little, and you just wanted it to be fairly runny. That's pretty much the consistency that I was going for, that when you dip the paintbrush in it, it's running, it's dripping completely down. This Chateau Gray took a little bit more time to mix it up because it was so thick, but you definitely want to mix it up enough so it doesn't have any of the chunks in it.
It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again. Holidays and cheer. But now I got my eye.
Now that everything was mixed up, the fun part starts, and it's painting these pieces of wood. It doesn't matter the pattern, it doesn't matter how you paint them, and you actually don't even have to stain them. You can completely paint them. This is just what I was doing, but you can paint them with just acrylic paint or stain them with the actual wood stain. I just wanted to show you another way that you can do things. So once I had the piece painted, I am taking a rag and just wiping it all off. And this is what's creating that stained look, because you've got the color and you've got the wood grain coming through as well. And if you want it darker, you just keep applying more paint to it until you reach the darkness that you want. I didn't want too much darkness, so I was okay with just one coat. I did add a little bit more with the green one, especially in a couple pieces, because I did find that it was a little too light. But when you are using a rag to wipe it off, you want to make sure that you're using a separate rag for each color, because you don't want to have mixing the colors unless that's what you're going for. But sometimes the stains are left over on one and you don't want to transfer that to a different color. So I suggest using the different rags for each color. For this first, so I will be making 3 Christmas trees, and the first one I just need 3 pieces, so each color for each triangle, and then for the next one I'm going to double up some just to have more color. You can do a pattern that looks the same, or you can mix them up. I mixed them up because I really didn't care if it was patterned or not. I just love using things around the house, and like I said, my mother-in-law was throwing this out, so I took it, and the wood was actually in a really good condition, and I thought it was going to be great for some projects. I have a couple pieces left over still that I can definitely use to make some signs with if I want to. Now, I have seen a dollar store people share that Dollar Tree has these wood planks, and I thought those, if you don't have any scrap wood, those would work as well. You would just have to cut them into the triangles. We don't have any at our store, so this is what I'm using. And now the fun part is starting assembling these trees. This piece of wood, the thinner one, is also from the scrap wood that came from my mother-in-law, and I just cut it into 3 different sizes, lengths, so that way I can assemble the trees on top. I am using wood glue and hot glue. Wood glue for more permanent hold, and hot glue for immediate hold, so that way I can actually keep working and moving them around, and don't have to worry about them falling apart because the wood hasn't set yet. Not sure if you guys are aware, but I also have a home channel where I share how I decorate with a lot of these DIYs that I make. So if you haven't had a chance to check out my home channel, it is full on Christmas decorating happening over there. I am almost done on my main floor, and I will be sharing my home tour this week for the main floor. So I encourage you to see how I use all of my DIY, most of the DIYs that I create in my home decor. It is definitely a budget-friendly way to decorate your house and switch out decor as often as I do. And that's why I like creating a lot of these DIYs, so that way I can switch out my decor without breaking the bank.
I'm not gonna play it safe. I'm not gonna play it safe. It's going down on Christmas Day. 'Cause I'm trying to tell you in every way. Yeah, I'm trying to show you.
I absolutely love the way this turned out, and I can't wait to use it. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where I'm going, which room this is going to go into, and if you want to find out, make sure you are watching my home channel. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sonja, and if you're brand new to my channel, welcome. In this video, I am participating in a crafty Christmas challenge 2018 hosted by Corianne from Life's Little Things. I will have the playlist linked down below. I will be making a sign for my Christmas cards, and the materials that I'm using are these, I think they're 2x6, I think, and I had put them together just by screwing them at the back. And I used two. I'm also using chalk paint in Paris Gray, a paintbrush for the chalk paint, and then I'm using a cup and water to dilute my chalk paint, some acrylic paints in Christmas color, well, somewhat of Christmas colors, I guess, a bowl to put my paint, and two paintbrushes. You want them to be angled, thin paintbrushes. Often makeup brushes for eyes work really well. I am using also some sandpaper and some sand blocks just to clean it up and get rid of any splinters or any little nicks on it. I also use a little bit of a harsher sandpaper just to get that writing off. First thing that I do is I dilute my chalk paint in a cup with some water, and to get it mixed and incorporated well, I use these stainless steel whisk balls by Vanzy Home, and you simply drop these into the paint mixture and shake. If you have any paint left over in a container, you can leave them in the container for fast mixing when you want to use it again. One ball is enough for sample size paint, and 2 to 3 balls you can use for quart size paint. These balls are a great way to get your paint mixed. After my paint is mixed, I apply 2 coats of it onto the board. Once the paint is dry, I move on to the next project. For this, I will use string, some Christmas clips, black wax from Annie Sloan, a wax brush, cloth, and hot glue. First thing I apply is the wax. I apply a generous amount. I apply the chalk in sections, and once I'm satisfied with the way it looks, I take a rag and I wipe it off. Next step, I write Merry Mail first in pencil just to make sure that it is to my liking. And once I finish that, I follow up with some paint. Like I said, I use acrylic paint and I use a thin angled brush for the best results. And oftentimes I will use eye makeup brushes for this. Also, for something a little extra, I add a string of lights with white paint, and I also add the light bulbs in different paints. I think I use gold, red, and green. Once my paint had dried, and you want to make sure that it's completely dry, I flip it over, and now I start adding my rope. I use hot glue to secure the rope at the back. First I put just a little bit of hot glue, and then I go over top of it with more hot glue just to make sure that it is in place. And when I start wrapping the rope around, I do it in like, I don't want it to be straight, I want it to be on an angle. I think it looks nicer. And then every time I wrap it around, I add a little bit more hot glue. Just that way it stays in place. And the more hot glue you have on it, the less chances of the cards pulling the rope down or the string down. Once I'm done with the rope and I'm satisfied how it looks, I attach the clips. I have gotten these at Dollar Tree. Some of them, and the red ones had come with something on it, whether it was a gift wrapping. I cannot remember anymore, but I thought it would be nice to incorporate them as well. So here it is. It sits in my living room against the wall, and I think it's just such a great addition to my decor. I absolutely love the way it turned out. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you to make your own Merry Mail sign, and if it did, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, I would love for you to press that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. And until next time, I hope you all have a very Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm participating in an upcycled gift trash to treasure challenge hosted by Heidi Sambol and Yelena from Blondie Next Door. So I have gone thrifting, and I had picked up this tray which has really nice shape to it and nice handles, but I am not loving the swan goose shape inside of it. So I had picked this up for $6.99 at Value Village, and I have decided I'm going to paint it with some white chalk paint. I am using the Chalk Rust-Oleum white chalk paint, and I'm going to embellish the handles with some nautical rope. This can be used on its own as a gift for somebody, or you can use it as a base for other things and making like a gift basket. Either way, I'm sure anybody receiving this gift would love it. So like I said, this is part of a challenge, and I will have Heidi's and Yelena's channels linked down below, so make sure you go check them out. And I will also have a playlist linked down below of all the other ladies participating in this challenge. So make sure after you're done watching my video, you go check them out. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, my name is Sonja, and I do these type of videos often, so make sure that you are subscribed if you like what you see. So without further ado, we're going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is give this tray a good amount of paint, enough so it covers the picture. It took 2 coats to cover it up, but I just left some stuff showing through so it kind of looks a little bit antique on the sides. And now I'm hot gluing this nautical rope. So here it is all finished. This would be a great base for a gift basket on a tray. There's so many different options to do this. You can go with food, you can go with spa items, you can go with candles. I mean, the possibilities are endless, or you can just gift it as is. It is a beautiful tray with a lot of beautiful lines, and I'm sure anybody would be happy to receive this. And until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.